facilities on this property except the golf course. That included the clubhouse. It could be the swimming pools at that point. It was the grounds around the clubhouse and anything other than the golf course. Chicago, who Dan Nichols was the representative from them, who redesigned the clubhouse as it is standing still just before being torn down, to have about a $4 million renovation, which would solve all our problems that we had on transportation within the building and facilities that needed to be expanded or even reduced. So that policy was done. Also, we looked at lighting on the front entranceway. We finally got a little piece of it, which was long-range planning. And Dave and I had talked about it as well with Dan, to take the beautiful oak trees on the serpentine entranceway to the golf course or to the clubhouse, that we would have them indirect lighting. Well, it wasn't on the ground. It was actually soft lighting up within the trees themselves, which was incredible. And this company found on lighting, manufactured the lightings themselves. They brought them over here. We installed them, and they are planted in the oak trees as an entranceway. Very bright, two on either side on the entrance and the exit just before you come to the oval in the front of the clubhouse. Those are highlighted, higher power lights. The others are very soft, and also the trees on the side, and it wasn't even in the front of the clubhouse. Those lightings were put in, and we've had that passed and appropriations put through. Dave was also instrumental where the strategic organization of the club was the board of directors, which were assigned to all of the major committees. They were liaison to the green, the golf, the insurance, the memorabilia, historical committee, the swimming pool, the tennis, insurance, and having from that basis bringing in a professional manager, which was called a general manager, where he would be the one having the pro report to him, the clubhouse manager reporting him, as well as the green chairman or the superintendent report. Those three people report to general manager. General manager coordinated the three together so that the left hand knew what the right hand was doing, and then he reported to the board. And Dave was an executive search man for high caliber, high-end managers, from CEOs to high vice presidents of major corporations, had contacts on search committees for someone who could go ahead and direct us, who would be involved with looking for general managers. And then he redirected that and surveyed something like over 40 different companies that could do that, narrowed it down to one, and then found that company to look at applications for our general manager. And that man that we brought in here, Brian Presidente, changed the whole complex of what really pure management of people versus men who are dedicated to help and run the club, but were not professionals in that area. They were attorneys, lawyers, doctors, manufacturing, dentists, and so on. But this is a man who had schooling of how to run a country club on statistics, analysis, programs, plans. And when he came here, meetings were unheard of. They were well prepared. They weren't unprepared previously, but the quantum leap of quality and time elements of getting things done quicker and more professional was astounding. And what happened was the meetings would be all dated, they would program, they had all the information we needed, and everything ran smoother than it ever had been prior to that. Unfortunately, he has taken another job subsequently after that, and we still have not had a general manager. But the aspects of having a general manager, I think, overshadow anything that I've ever seen in the area of making the clubhouse run and the club run smoothly and efficiently beyond anyone else's capability. So that should be addressed and looked in the future to try to bring that back. So those three areas of general managers, the long-range planning for the golf course and the long-range planning for all the property should be noted in this report for future generations to hear what was done and how it was done and who did it. And I'm glad we got back into to go ahead and talk about it. So,
looking back on it, Vic, obviously it's been a very important part of your life and your wife's life and your children's lives and grandchildren's lives. How has the club changed over the years?
it has changed in the aspects of by two things probably. The first, the aspects of the federal government not allowing you to go ahead and use the company-sponsored members as a tax deduction, and where companies used it as a social, as a business expense, that had a restriction of people where the companies themselves, individuals could not afford it. And there was a change a little bit in the numbers of the people that we could obtain as new members. About 10% of every year's membership turns over for whatever reason, but the people themselves continued on, and when they came here they were absolutely enthralled with the golf course, the clubhouse, new one in '61, the renovations later on, that were two of them. The facilities and the camaraderie of it have not really changed, but the people who've come in, of course, as they've gotten older, you can see their philosophies and their change of life in comparison to ours, but they all have the same goals. That is to make this the best club on the West Side, and that's what it is. It really is. There has been lots of dissensions, maybe like in areas of concern, but overall, the people make the club, and the people who will come here will be more than satisfied if they just let their thoughts and positive things take its course and run with the clubhouse and getting things done. And success with the new clubhouse, I think, would be very apropos. The design is on the outside is great. It's just wonderful, and the new members will follow, and the younger ones will all have changes in their thoughts in comparison to the middle members and the older members, but that's always the case. I can remember when we were the young cats on it, and we called all those old guys in the round table. Well, now I'm on the round table. So the idea is it will not succumb. It will survive very nicely, and it will do what it has done for over 80 years. And coming up in 2021, the 100th anniversary, which is where these discs are going to be used as clips from people of 21 people that we will have interviewed, with over almost 40 hours of tape, and plus consolidating that. And Dave Cleveland is going to be able to be the wizard with this, putting that together and then putting music to it and going outside. And I also then, last year in 2012, took photographs of a camcorder of the whole club on Mondays. And I came back at Christmas and I picked and found gorgeous, all the decorations for Christmas have that. And outside, I took a film of the outside on the grounds, covering outside the building, tennis courts, driving range, swimming pool. And then did it the second time where when I came in on Mondays, because the club is closed, I couldn't get in a couple of rooms. I finally got those filmed. And then as the building was vacated, I have tapes of about 40 minutes of every room again. So I have a before and after shots of that for the historical concept for the people. And I also have a request of two people to draw the best of their recollection, the layout and the floor plan of the old clubhouse on Bradley Road, the farmhouse, where there were 3 floors. I know that the basement, where the men's locker room, the first floor, which is entered right off of Bradley Road, had a bar, the dining rooms, the men's room, as well as the kitchen, and the upper level were the ladies' locker room. But we have pictures of that on the exterior, but we don't have a layout. So when two people, Don Burney and Jane Corrigan, I've asked to draw up those Then we will have Bradley Road. What we have now are still drawings that Zach has for this building we're in still, and we also have the video films that I have. I've also put notices in the mail, the members who are going to be taking pictures of the demolition, to make an extra copy and put that in the staff office box that I have, and that'll add to the photography of the demolition and process of that, and also the reconstruction. So we'll have a continuation of layouts and floor plans from 3 buildings that have come from here since 1921. So that's a long answer to membership, but it entitles more than membership. It's a constant increase and improvement of what we have in the continuation of a lot of hardworking people who put, not only staff, but members, who put hours and hours and time and effort into it for the betterment and the longevity of Lakewood Country Club.
Well, you certainly have been a very important cog in the history of this club, and we thank you for that. And it's been a pleasure to serve with you as part of the first memorabilia and now historical committee. And
Thank you.
more importantly, though, is to develop a friendship with you, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
You're entirely welcome, David. Thank you.